Good day everyone. Welcome to the Azure AI series. In this video, we are going hands-on to build real-world AI agents from scratch using Azure AI Foundry. And trust me, this is not your average tutorial. Today, we are working with a fictional bank called JBBank to build three powerful AI agents, a retirement advisor agent to help customers plan better futures, a business lead agent to find new upsell opportunities, and a health services agent to generate wellness focused insights from the banking data. All of this is based on real bank statement analysis, and the cherry on top, we will integrate these agents into a C-sharp application to demonstrate real enterprise usage. If you are serious about learning how AI can transform industries like banking and healthcare, then this video is for you. Don't forget to like the video, hit subscribe and turn on notifications because this is just the beginning of what's possible with Azure AI. I'm currently on the Azure AI Foundry. What you need to do is you need to log into your Azure portal, and then you basically have to open a new tab and then type ai.azure.com, and then you will be taken to the Azure AI Foundry portal. Yeah. So just in case you are seeing any other screen other than what you are seeing right now, then what you need to do is you just need to click on this Azure AI Foundry and you will be coming to this particular page. Yeah. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this create new. I will select this Azure AI Foundry resource. Let's click on next. We need to name the project. In my case, I'm going to use this particular name. Yeah. So now what we will do is we will provide the subscription details and other details here, and then we will take it from there. What I've done is I've selected my subscription. I've renamed my resource group to something appropriate for me, and then I've name my Foundry resource here, and then my region is Sweden Central. Yeah, let's click on create. It's gonna take at least 2 minutes to complete. So what I'll do is I'll pause this video, and once this is completed, I will resume the video back. It's created now. If you see here, we have the project created. Yeah, and we have the required details here. Yeah, the resource is also created, so everything is in place. Let's click on this project here. Yep. We have the endpoints and keys, and then this is the Azure AI Foundry project endpoint. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this playgrounds here. Yep. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this let's go here under the agents playground. Yeah. So now as soon as I click on that, if I don't have any models deployed already, then it's gonna come to this particular tab, and it is going to ask us to deploy initial model. Okay. I'm going to select GPT-4o. Yeah, that's the one that I'm going to use for this particular demo. If you want, you can select whatever is required, like GPT-4.1 or GPT-4.1 mini, whatever is required for you. But for this demo, I'm going to use GPT-4o. Yeah, let's click on confirm. Let's name the deployment name here. I'm going to use this name here, and let's click on customize, and then make sure you select appropriate deployment type. Yeah, so for me, I'm selecting this global standard. But as per your requirement on a production environment, you need to ensure you are selecting the appropriate deployment type. Yeah, because if you see this, for each and every deployment type that you select, you will get this info. And this one is basically telling me that the data might be processed globally. So if, for example, if your data is very critical, then you need to look into this and then select what is appropriate for you. Yep. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the token here to the maximum here. Yep. It all depends on the tokens that you have selected. For example, if you have many tokens here, what will happen is you will get great response depending upon the load that is coming into this particular deployment model. But the thing is, like, the cost will also increase depending on the usage. Yeah. Now, if you reduce the number of tokens, yeah, then what will happen is, like, the response might be comparably low when you have too many requests coming at the same time, but the cost associated with this resource would be less. So it all depends on what is the requirement. So yeah, I would suggest, like, whatever is required for you, you can select it. I will leave everything else as default and then click on deploy. Okay, so it is deployed now. I'm currently seeing the agent's playground right now. Yeah, and we have this agent here. So let's first name our agent here. What I'll do is, like, I will change this name to JBBank underscore retirement advisor underscore agent. Yeah. So now the next thing we need to do is, like, we need to provide instructions here. I've already created the required instruction. Yeah. So if you see here, this is the instruction that I've given. To be frank, if you guys want to follow along this video, then what I suggest is, like, I'll put all these details, like the instructions and things like that, the codes that I'm going to use in this video, on my blog, and the link to my blog is in the description section of this video, so you can use that and then you can follow along the video. Yeah. Now, if you look at the instructions here, what I'm basically telling here is, like, I'm telling it as, like, you are a professional, knowledgeable, and ethical financial budget advisor, and then I'm giving the mission, and then I'm basically telling, like, what and what not to do. All those informations I've included. I suggest you look at my blog and get the details. Have a read so that you can understand how we can create appropriate instructions. To be frank, I spend a lot of time fine-tuning these instructions based on my requirements. So it is very much required. You clearly understand what the instructions is, and then you need to align that with your requirement. Yeah. Now that I've put the instructions, what I'm going to do is, like, I'm going to first ask my initial question, and my question would be, like, I'm basically telling, like, my name is Sundar P, and I'm basically telling, like, my monthly salary is 90,000, and I kind of spend close to 75,000 every month. Yeah. And I'm basically asking for an a retirement advice, and I'm basically telling, like, I will be retiring in next 30 years. Yeah. And that's the information that I've provided, and I'm basically telling, like, since I have, like, close to 30 years, I will go with high risk investment. And then I'm basically telling, like, currently I have close to this much of money in my fixed deposit. Yeah. Now, if you look at the response here, it basically tells, like, analyze your current savings and spendings, and it basically tells, like, it is like whatever you are earning, and then subtracting it with the spendings, and then it tells, like, you have 15,000 per month. And then next it tells, like, you need to invest in the emergency fund, long-term investment, and things like that. To be frank, this is not an investment video, more on how to leverage AI agents. So I would leave you to read all these information if required, but what I'll do is, like, I will go on with other things. Like, let me ask, like, for long-term investment, I'm suggesting it to recommend some ETFs. Yeah. And basically what I'm asking is, like, it is all on the India investment journey. Yeah. So it's like I'm asking for something on the NSE, which is National Stock Exchange. If someone is looking at from a different country, then I would suggest, like, to change this instruction to appropriate exchange of their country. Yeah. Now, as soon as I asked about the ETFs, it is going ahead and then providing me what all ETFs I can invest. So that's something that you can have a look if you're really interested on that. Yeah. And then what I'm basically telling is, like, I'm just want to check, like, is there any theme that is going to be really good in the future. So if you see here, we are getting some great response back from the AI agent. Yeah. So now, if you look at all these things, it is all completely generalized. Yeah, it is not specific to any particular customer or maybe like any particular person here. Yeah. So now, what I'm going to do is like. I'm also going to ask, like, now that it spoke about these are the things that I can invest in, which has got some good future, like technology and digital innovation, sustainable and green energy, and things like that. I'm going to ask it specific to space, which is basically in electric vehicle space, and let's see if it is going to offer us something on that end. Yeah. So it basically kind of providing us the response. Yeah. At least I know like there is nothing directly as far as the EV space is right now for the ETFs. So let's see what the response is. It basically tells like a great choice, and it basically tells like it's gonna have good growth globally. Yeah, but it basically tells like you don't have any kind of an ETF. Yeah, so that's the response. Yeah, so let me ask something outside of finance. Yeah, so I'm just going to ask like, can you advise what ice cream I can have tonight? And you should basically be advised that you cannot ask anything outside of finance. And if you see here, it basically tells me that I appreciate the question, and it tells like I'm here exclusively to help with personal finance and budgeting. Yeah, so it is basically telling if you're looking for financial savings and tips related to dining or trees, you ask it, but just make sure like your questions are related to finance. Yeah, that's what it is basically telling me. Now, let me ask one last question related to long-term investment. I'm basically telling like I want to invest 12,000 rupees, yeah, and I need to do a top up of 10%. I'm requesting if the agent can suggest me some good ETF, yeah. So it's basically providing me the required response. But the main thing is like what I want is like I just want to get the response, and then basically I want it to send this as an email and see if that is possible. Yeah. Okay, so I'm asking it if it can send an email. Let's see what the response going to be. Okay, if you see here, it basically tells that it won't be able to send an email across. Yeah. So before proceeding further, so let's discuss about some other things that we are seeing here. Yeah. The first thing is like you have this new agent. When you click on that, you will be able to create a new agent as this one. Like right now, we have created an agent called JBBank underscore retirement advisor underscore agent. If you want to create one more agent, then you can do that. Okay. And also like when you click on this view code here, yeah, so you will be able to get the required code that you can use to integrate into an application or something. Yeah. So right now it is showing it showing the Python script. If you want, you can change to other scripts as well. Yeah. And also you if you want to create a new thread, you can do that. For example, if I click on that new thread, it basically tells like this will clear the previous thread and all its messages from the view to save them, copy. So this is basically telling like it's going to create everything new. I'm going to click on cancel, and also you have this option to check for the logs. So if you see here, for each and every question that you have asked, you will have the details here. Yeah, it basically tells like the input and output, like the question that you asked, and then the response that you got from the AI agent. And then you have something called metadata. And then now if you click on that, you will be able to see the details here, like what is the run ID, what is the thread ID, and all those things. And the most important thing here is like it basically tells us like for each and every response here, how many total tokens were used. In my case, I can see that the total token is 6185, 6185 tokens used. And then if you see here, the input token is 6,106, and then the output token is 79. So you will be able to use these things to come to a conclusion like how many tokens will be utilized, and also like you can come to kind of an approximate calculation like how much cost it would be generating. Yeah, and then now if you look at these evaluations, you will be able to look at the scores here. Yeah, for example, if you see here, in my case, it is basically telling like the score is 3 out of 5. Yeah, and then now if you want to look at why it is 3, it basically tells like the agent's response accurately addresses the user's request for assistance. So basically, like for example, if you have a good score, then it basically tells you like why you are having this score. And likewise, if you have a lower score or anything, yeah, it basically tells like why it came to this particular score here. So you get those details. Now, for example, when you want to fine tune your AI agents, then this would be the best place to look at the input and output, your metadata, and then also the evaluation response. Yeah, let me close that. Also, for each and every response, you have this option here, view run info. Let's click on that. And then again, when you click on it, it's gonna take you to that particular run. And then you can look at the same data that I showed you earlier. So that's also possible when you click on this view run info. Now let's consider I want the email to be sent, like whatever response that we are getting. And in case if you are specifically interested on any specific response, and if you want that to be emailed, then what we need to do is like we have seen it, like we tried requesting it to send an email and it is not able to do it. So now in order to do that, you have something called action here. So let's click on add here. Yep. And then in my case, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to use the Azure Logic apps to send the email, which according to me is a little easier. So I'm gonna use that Azure Logic apps. But for example, if you want to do anything else, like you can use other things as well. But in my case, I'm going to use Azure Logic apps. Let's click on that. Okay, so we have these options that you can select. Yeah. Now, for example, if your Logic app is going to be a little complex, that you're trying to achieve something else using Logic app, then what you can do is like you can deploy your Logic app manually, and then you will be able to see that here, and then you can select it. Yeah. In my case, I've not developed anything already, so what I'm going to do is like I'm going to use the existing one here. Yeah. So this is Microsoft authored, which is to send email using Outlook. Let's click on that, and then what we'll do is like let's give it a name first. Yeah, so this is the name that I've given, so make sure like all these informations are right, and then click on next. Okay, now what you need to do is like you need to connect your Office 365 Outlook. Let's click on connect. Once authenticated, click on next, and then acknowledge this, and then click on next, and then click on create here, and then wait for it to get created. Yeah, it's basically created now. Yeah, now I'm asking it, can you forward your response to my long-term investment of 12,000 Indian rupees to my email? That's the question I'm asking. Let's wait for the response. Now, if you see here, this time it sent the email, and if you look at the details here, it basically used the logic apps and then send the data across. Now let's look at the view run info, and then if you see here, this time after we clicked on this run info, you can see that the logic app is involved, and that's the reason it sent the email across. Now, if you look at that email, yeah, this is the email that I received. So the formatting is not that great, but yeah, you can change the formats and things like that. Shouldn't be a problem. But this is the way how you send the email across. Yeah. Okay, so whatever we have seen right now, the agent can be used by anyone. Yeah, so doesn't mean like, for example, let's say someone gets into the agent and then starts asking the question, doesn't mean like he is providing the correct details. Yeah, anyone can access it. But the thing is like this particular agent is specifically for JBBank customer. So at least we need to make sure like the JBBank customer gets more details than the non-customer. So what we need to do is like we need to change the aspects here in such a way like we are specifically concentrating, that is the AI agent should specifically concentrate more on the bank. For example, like it needs to look at the data as far as the bank is concerned, and then it needs to provide the required details. So now what we'll do is like let's try creating the required knowledge base. Yep. So now if you see here, we have this knowledge above your action. So let's click on add here. Yep. And then let's use this option called files, upload local files. Yeah. And then as far as the vector store is concerned, let's have this as create a new vector store. And then what we'll do is like let's name this agent as JBBank knowledge base for everyone. Yeah. And then let's click on select local files. And then what I'll do is like I will select these three files here. Yeah. So let's click on that and then click on open and then click on this upload and save. While this is uploading, let's look at that file here. Okay, so each and every file contains data of 3 months of statement. Yeah, so now if you see here, the customer name is Anjali Rao, and this is the customer ID, this is the customer address, and then this is the customer email. Please note that all these things are sample data, nothing real here. And if you see here, we have this data here for the customer. Yeah. So basically, you can see that we have 3 months of bank statement for this particular user here in this document. Yeah. So now, if you can see here, as far as the knowledge is concerned, you are able to see that three files are kind of updated here. Yeah. Now, for example, let's say you want to add more files, then what you need to do is like click on this and then click on manage. And then if you want to add more files, then what you can do is like you need to select it and then you can add that. As of now, I just have these three files, so I will go ahead with that one. Yeah. So now we have this knowledge, we have this action as well. Now let's change our instructions here as appropriate to the knowledge base. Okay, so if you read this, you will able to understand like now I'm basically giving instruction to my AI agent that you are a professional, knowledgeable and ethical financial budget advisor working for this bank. Yeah, your purpose is to provide financial advice to customers. So I've provided more details. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm basically telling like always begin with this conversation, and also like I'm telling that check if user's message includes the customer ID, and then I'm giving more details. I'm basically telling that if it is missing, basically ask for that detail, and also now I'm basically telling you check the knowledge base here and then check the customer ID, which is kind of an authentication. Okay, so let me start with a message here. I'm just going to put an hello and then let's see what the response is going to be. Now if you see here, it basically tells me like I'm your financial guru. Please ask your question along with your name and customer ID. So that's the response that I've got right now. So now what I'm going to do is like I'm going to follow this request, and then I'm going to tell like my name is Raju Gopal, and the customer ID is this one, and I'm basically asking it to help me with my retirement. Yeah, so I'm basically telling like what all I can do as far as my retirement is concerned. So now if you see here, it is basically looking at the knowledge base. Let's wait for the response to complete and then we will look into the response. Okay, before looking at the response, let's click on the view run info. Yeah, and then if you see here, these are the things that has happened for this particular response. Yeah, it basically did a tools call and then it's basically doing a file search, which is basically our a knowledge base. Yeah, so it is very clear it has used the knowledge base. Now let's look at the response. Okay, so now you see this, the response seems to be very good. Yeah, it basically tells like welcome the customer, and it basically tells like thank you for being a loyal JBBank customer. And based on your provided transaction, what it is basically doing is like it is basically getting the required information from the knowledge base. I did not tell like what is my monthly salary, what is my rental income, and things like that. It is basically getting it from the statement. For example, if you see here, this is like a different file. Let me get the actual file, which is for the triple one, that is 6 ones customer ID. Let me check that. Now let me open that. If you see here, we have for this customer Raju Gopal, this is the customer ID. If you see here, we can see that this guy has got a salary of 85,000, and then he is spending a lot of other things. Yeah. So now if you look at the response, it is kind of tailored for this particular customer. Yeah, so it identifies that he's an customer of JBBank, and also like it tells like the monthly salary is 85,000, and it tells like the rental income he is spending is this much. Yeah, and sorry, the rental income is getting, that is like it is like an additional income. Yeah, it basically tells like recurring at least twice per month, so the total credits is close to 95,000. Yeah, and then expenses, it lists out like these are the expenses that this customer has done, and it got all these information from the statement that we have given as far as the knowledge base is concerned. Yeah, now it is calculating like this much of surplus we have, like it basically subtracted your credit with the debit, and then it comes to a conclusion like for 3 months it is able to see that there is a surplus of this much amount. Now based on this, it is basically telling that the customer can do these things. Like for example, it is basically telling like step one, define retirement goal and corpus, and then the investment options it is giving. So whatever information we asked, like it is able to give that. It is basically telling like the projected corpus after 30 years is like 12% from equity, and you will have this much of a corpus. Yeah, and assuming like there are no withdrawals in between. Yeah, so we have got the required details. I think like the response is definitely decent, and that too, it is tailored to that particular customer. Now, if you want, you can request this response to be sent across as an email, and then you will be able to store it in the email and then have a look. Yeah. The next question, I'm giving you some more details. Like I'm telling, like my retirement age is 65, and right now I'm 40 years old, and I'm basically telling like right now my salary is 85,000. And I'm also telling like this 85,000 during my retirement age would be fine, because my lifestyle is not going to change much. But what I'm telling is like I want an equivalent value of like 85,000 after like maybe around age of 65. So that's the question I'm asking. And I'm also telling like my risk preference is high, and I don't have any other investment. So those are the things that I'm telling to the AI agent. And then let's look for the response right now, and then see if it is going to give us the required details. Okay, we have the response here. And then if you look at the response, yep, it basically tells like inflation adjustment, and then it basically does the calculation. Yeah, and then it basically tells like the future value per month would be like 4,61,000. So what it basically means is like right now it is 85,000, but due to inflation, this same 85,000 after say 25 years or whatever it is, the same 85,000 at that time would be 4,61,000. Now, based on that, it is going to do the calculation. Yeah. And then it tells like we may require a corpus of close to like 14 crores. Yeah. So I think like the response is pretty decent. If I ask some more specific questions, I think I will be able to get much more details, and then I can plan the things. Now, the disclaimer here, it is clearly telling like I'm an AI financial budget advisor. The information provided is for general guidance and may contain errors or omissions. So it basically tells like you need to consult a qualified financial advisor. Yeah, so we have the disclaimer also. Again, this video is not about investment. It is about how to use AI agent effectively. Okay. Now, let's consider like there is one more new customer who has come in, and he is basically telling that what is his name and then the customer ID. Yeah, let's wait for the response. Yeah, now it is looking for the reference, and then let's wait for the response to complete. Yep, let's look at the response here. So it basically tells like, unfortunately, I could not locate customer data matching this. Yeah, but again, it is basically telling like I will give you a general guidance. Yeah, it is not able to give a um, tailor-made guidance. So that is something it is basically telling, and it is also telling that to receive tailored advice, please consider visiting a JBBank branch and register for personalized services. Yeah, so it is not giving that great of a response when it is an a user who is not part of the bank, and it is basically telling like be part of uh, JBBank. Yeah. So now let's say we have another customer who is with the bank. Yep. And then this time is basically telling like about the credit that has happened as far as the June month is concerned. Okay. So it is basically looking at the data. So that means like we have a clear hit as far as this customer is concerned. Now let's go up, and then it basically tells like uh, thank you for being a loyal JBBank customer, and then it gives us the required details. It basically tells like on 1 June we had a 14,000 credit, on 8 June 18,500. So we are getting the clear details, whatever is there on our statement. It is basically telling that the total credits is this much. Yeah, so it is also looking at the information. Let me ask one more question. Let me ask if the credits or the debits were higher for me. Yeah. So let's wait for the response, and then we'll take it from there. Yeah, it's again looking at the details, and then we look at the response. We will get what is it trying to tell. Okay, now if you look at it, it basically tells like your credits are higher by this much for June, indicating positive net saving. So that is something very clear. So the question, whatever is asked by the user, is properly answered by our AI agent. One more question, the other customer is asking like, where am I spending too much money? So that's a question that is put across to the AI agent. Let's see what the response is going to be. It's looking at the knowledge base. Okay, we have the response. So now if you look at the response, it basically starts by thanking you as an loyal JBBank customer, and then it basically tells like this is where you are spending your money. Okay, now it's pretty clear that as far as the bank users are concerned, the bank customers are concerned, they have asked the required questions to this particular AI agent, and according to me, the response were really, really great. Yeah. For example, if the user is the bank's customer, the responses are tailor-made because it checks their statement from the knowledge base and then provides a really great response. And now let's consider the user is not the bank customer. Then again, he or she is getting the response, but thing is like it is not tailor-made. It basically tells like it is not able to look at the required data because the user is not bank's customer, and it is asking the user to become an bank's customer. Okay, now let's move on from the users to the bank officials now. Yeah, so now we will discuss like how we will create an AI agent that is going to help JBBank's officials to get some lead for improving the business. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to create another agent here. For that, I will click on this new agent. Yeah. And once I click on this, I have the playground here. So what I'll do is like I will change this agent name to JBBank Business Lead Agent. Okay. And then I will give the required instructions here specific to this particular agent, which is business lead. Now this is completely different to the one that we had previously. The previous one was helping the customers of the bank, and now what it is doing is like it's gonna help the b- bank resources to get more leads to improve their business. Yeah, so now I'm changing the role to you are an AI assistant for JB Bank officials. Your job is to help bank staff identify business opportunities from the customer bank statement data. Yeah, so now we have provided these details. Now we need to select the knowledge base, right? So now what I'm going to do is like let's click on add as far as the knowledge is concerned. Let's use these files here. Instead of using create a new vector store and then bring in the same data, what I'm going to do is like I'm going to use this option, which is select an existing vector store. Yeah, and then what I'll do is like I will select this one that I've created for my previous agent, and then now that I have the required files, I will click on select and then wait for it to complete. And if you see here, we have this knowledge base added to this particular agent. Yeah, and now what I'll do is like let's go to this agents option here. Yeah, now as soon as I click on that, you will be able to see all the agents as far as this project is concerned. Yeah, if you see here, we have the retirement advisor agent and also you have the business lead agent. Yeah, now I'm interested in this business lead agent, so I will select that, and then what I'll do is like I will click on try in playground. Yeah, so now what I'm going to do is like now I'm going to ask it a question. So let's first put a hello. Yeah, now JB Bank's official resource working for JB Bank is going to ask the question, and he's basically telling like I'm you. The response is I'm your financial guru. Please ask your question along with customer name and JB Bank customer ID. Okay. So now this is the question that I'm going to ask. I'm basically telling like this is the customer ID and the customer name is this. Can you check if this customer exists and tell me if there are any potential leads? This is the question that I'm asking. Let's wait for the response. So it is looking at the knowledge base. Yeah. And then let's wait for the response to complete and we'll take it from there. Okay, let's look at the response. So now it tells like customer record found for this particular customer. Yeah. And then it basically speaks about personal spending distributions. He's paying rent, utilities, and then he's kind of frequently dining out. It gives us more details and recurring expenses or like rent, mobile bills, and things like that. And income flows, it basically tells like regular monthly income. So it basically analyzes the statement. Yeah. Now it gives us the recommendation stating like we can offer credit card to the customer. Yeah, so the reason regular shopping on these online brands and is also dining out. Yeah, and then it's gonna help him as far as a cashback or reward points, and it is also proposing health insurance. And the reason is like it basically tells like limited transactions dedicated to medical needs, recommend protection against unforeseen expenses, kind of good one. And then also it gives us the investment products like mutual funds or SIP. So based on these things, the bank officials can offer the credit card to the customer and also request for signing up for the health insurance, and then also perform do SIPs on mutual funds and things like that. Yeah, and it is also asking like if it requires deeper analysis. If you need to ask more questions, then you can definitely ask that. Okay. Now let me ask another question. I'm basically telling like I want the details for this customer and the customer ID is this. And then let's look at the response for this question. Now, if you look at the response, it basically tells like this customer ID is not in the JB Bank's record. It is basically telling like, please verify the customer ID and then try again. Yeah. So let's ask one last question for this particular agent, which is like, let's go to our customer Raju Gopal, and the customer ID is this. It is basically I'm telling that analyze a statement and suggest any banking products he might be interested. Yeah. So let's see if it is. Yeah, it's looking at the knowledge base. Let's wait for um, the response. Cool. Now, if you see here, it basically tells like he has got some loan payments and he has got regular expenses, yeah, and subscription services such as Netflix is also there, lifestyle spending. All these things are analyzed by the AI agent. Now comes the recommendation. It basically tells like go for a premium credit card, yeah. Previously, if you see here for this particular customer, it was just a credit card offer, yeah. But here it's basically telling like premium credit card instead. There is the reason is a high spending on shopping and food delivery platforms, yeah. And then it is telling like health insurance enhancements and then investment advisory. And there is an additional thing here. It basically tells like let's go for an overdraft facility, which is the reason is periodic higher outflows for EMI and unexpected expenses. So this is something really good, yeah. So now we are going to provide a tailor-made sales pitch to the customer after analyzing their statements. Yeah, at least here we will basically be asking them to go for an overdraft so that they will not be having any kind of a rejection because there is higher outflows and there can be a problem. So if you see here, the AI agent has looked at the data very clearly and then it's providing some awesome recommendations, to be frank. Now we completed for the JBBank's customer, and then also like we created an agent for the JBBank's internal resource. Now what we'll consider is like let's say JBBank as an offering related to health services, and then what we'll do now, let's create a new agent for the health services. What they basically do is like they look at the statements and then see if they can provide any of their services related to health to their customer. Yeah, I will name this agent to JB Bank Health Services. Yeah, and then what I'll do is like let me go to my knowledge here and then click on add, and then I'll do the same thing. Yeah, so what I've done is like I've just created one knowledge base and then I'm sharing that across different departments here. Yeah, if I speak in terms of the bank, I'm basically like sharing the required data within the department. Okay, and now what I'll do is like let me provide the required instructions. Okay, so this is the instruction that I've given. So let's look at that. The role is you are an AI assistant working for JB Health, a fitness and wellness subsidiary for JB Bank. Your purpose is to help JB Health officials identify potential leads for health and wellness service by analyzing the customer banking statement. Yeah, so it's pretty clear. So we will be looking at the statement and then we will see if we can offer any services related to health and wellness. Okay, so we have the required details. Let's go back to the agents and then let's ensure we have 3 agents now. Yeah, so if you see here, we have the retirement advisor agent, business lead agent, and then the new one that we created, which is health service agent. Let's go to the playground and then let's ask our first question here. Okay, let's put hello and then see what response we are going to get. It basically tells I'm your customer's health guru. Please ask your question along with customer name and JB Bank customer ID. Okay, so I'm going back to my customer, Raju Gopal. Customer ID is this, and I'm basically telling please analyze a statement and suggest any health related services we could offer. Okay, so now the AI agent is going to look at the knowledge base, yeah, and then it's gonna provide us the response. Let's wait for the response and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so we have the response here. So now it basically tells like the customer is there, yeah, It is telling, let's look at the observation. Yeah. So is basically telling like frequent miscellaneous spending. It tells like regular small transactions at outlet identified as Rahul Pan Bandar suggests possible tobacco or related product purchases. Yeah, so this is something really good. Yeah, so even I'm surprised to see this, but yeah, it looked at the sample data that I've uploaded, and it basically points out that this one is there. And then eating habits, multiple times food delivery is there, and then entertainment, sedentary lifestyle, healthcare related transactions, some payment towards doctor consultation, and it is also telling like no evidence of gym or fitness spending. Yeah, so not sure if the customer has it, so it's basically pointing this out. Okay, now the recommendation, it basically tells like since there are transactions related to this, it basically tells like smoking tobacco cessation programs. I'm not able to pronounce it properly, but yeah, I can understand like maybe something related to stopping these things. Yeah, so it basically tells like given the potential tobacco related transactions, introducing cessation workshops or counseling might be beneficial. This is really good. Even I'm surprised to see that. I never expected this response, but yeah, the AI agent has really looked at the data. Now, just think about this. Now, if you create this AI agent and then you provide your actual transaction data, there might be very good surprises, to be frank. Yeah. Now it tells like diet and nutrition counseling, and so it is basically telling like there is over reliance on outside food. So it is suggesting dietary plans or meal prep assistance, and fitness plans or events like encourage participation in fitness membership because it saw like there is nothing related to gym and things like that, and it also advises for preventive health check packages, and then also stress management workshops considering the entertainment and leisure patterns, offer stress management seminars to improve mental health. So yeah, and lead opportunity, engage in with a personalized health package offering discounts and things like that. So what I'm seeing is like it looked at the transaction details. I'm really surprised with this particular analysis, but yeah, overall a great response, to be frank. Now let's ask for a different customer. I And let's see what response we are going to get. Okay, so if you see here, it gives that the provided customer ID does not exist in JBBank record. So it is basically telling like provide proper information. Okay. One last question that I'm going to ask is like the customer name is Anjali Rao and customer ID is this. And then I'm asking it to provide some health related services. So let's wait for it. It is looking at the knowledge base. Let's wait for the response. We have the response here. Again, it tells like health related spendings. Like if you see here, there were some transactions related to pharmacy. It tells like what are those, and also like there is no indication of gym membership, and then it basically tells like regular payments for children's dance classes. Yeah, and it tells about the dining out thing, and then I spending on fixed commitments like rent. So it basically tells like these things are gonna add some stress. Okay, the recommendation is like wellness checkup progress, and then it basically talks about other things like family wellness program, fitness membership, stress and mental health programs, and things like that. Yeah, so the response is more or less great. Let's look at the run info, and then let's look at the evaluations once and then see. So if you see here, most of the score here is 5 out of 5 because the response is also great. So I think like we have the required details. So the view run info also with regards to the evaluations are great, to be frank. Now what we'll do is like now that we did all these things on the playground as far as Azure AI Foundry is concerned. Now what I'll do is like let's head to our visual code and then let's try creating say a small application, yeah, to integrate our AI into small application and then see how it works. I will first log into my subscription. Yeah, I'm just making sure like it's a step-by-step process. Yeah, because at least I'm not a developer, so I spend a lot of time doing this, even though it's a very simple one. So I just want to help those who are like me, who doesn't have much of an coding experience. Yeah, so I'm signing in. I'm basically selecting my required account, and then what I'll do is like I will wait for the login to complete, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I'm signed in now. So what I'll do now is like I will run this command and then create a new win forms. Yep, it's created now. So let's go to that folder. I will add some NuGet packages. Yeah, I will put all these things in my blog so you can just copy it and then run that. The next one is Azure AI projects. And then the next one is related to the AI agents. And let's run a couple of more NuGet packages. Yep, and this would be the last one. Yep, just to make sure you don't have any errors later. So now what I'll do is like I will just do a code so that it opens up the code one. Yep. Now let's open this form1.cs. I have the code created already. Yeah. So we need to do some changes like the endpoints and things like that. Yeah. So just have a look on it here. And then what we'll do is like we will open this program.cs and then let's put the required code there. Okay, so this is the code here that I'm going to use. And then let's go to our form1.cs and then we need to change the endpoint URL and then our the agent, the assistant here. Yeah. So for that, let's go to our AI Foundry and then let's what I'll do is like I will go to my financial agent, this one, the first one that I've created, the retirement agent or whatever it is, and then I will go there. You can use whatever agent you want, but my preference here is this retirement advisor. Okay, let's click on view code, and then I will change this to C#. That should not be a problem here. So what we'll do is like first thing, let's copy this URL. Yep, and then put that in your code here. Okay, so let's put that, and then now we need this agent. Let's go back to our Azure AI Foundry, and then let's close that, and you have it here. This is the agent ID. Okay, so you can either get it from here or go back to your code, and then you will see here it ends with 07Y. Yeah, it is same as that one. Let's go to our code again, and then let's change this to this. Okay, let's save it, and then let's go to this terminal, new terminal, and then let's do a .NET build and then see if there are any errors. Yeah, so there seems to be it is running right now. Yeah, it is basically telling like it is succeeded, but there is one warning. Since it is warning, I'm not worried much. Let's do a .NET run and then see if the application comes up. Okay, this is the simple application that I've created, which basically has two text boxes and then command prompt here. Yeah, not a fancy one, but it does its job. Yeah, the question that I'm going to ask our that my name is Raju Gopal and the customer ID is this, and I'm asking for a retirement advice. And then I'm going to click on fire away. And then if you see here, it is basically thinking now. That means like the AI agent has got the required question. It is basically giving the response back. Yeah. So now with this application, I'm not worried about what AI agent I have to use and things like that. Yeah. So what we can do is like as far as the customers are concerned, we can create a front-end application like this, and then you can provide it to them and then they can use it. So you don't have a great formatting here. That is something that you can definitely work out later. But as of now, if you see here, as soon as I ask this question, it is giving me appropriate response. It tells me like, welcome Raju Gopal, and it tells like, thank you for being a loyal JBBank customer. So that means like it has identified the customer and getting the details from our knowledge base, and it is giving us the required recommendations. Yeah, so you can ask any further questions and then you can take it from here. So basically what I would do is like going forward, I will create three applications. One is for my for the bank customer, one is for the bank officials, and one is for our bank health wellness team. Yeah, so we can have these three applications, or we can have a web page, and depending on the resource wherever which department he is working, based on the authentication, he can get into the specific application and then can interact with the AI agent and get the required details. To be frank, like I spent good amount of time on this. I would really appreciate if you guys can subscribe to the channel and then put your valuable comments. And as I told you guys earlier, I've included all the scripts, all the instructions in my blog, and the link of my blog is in the description section, so you guys can have a look. And what I understand is like while I was working on this particular thing, the AI agent is good, or kind of like becomes really responsive depending on the instructions that we give. So if we give a very clear instruction, that means like the response from the AI agent also like really improves. Yeah, and now if the instruction is not that great, then the response that you are getting is also not that great. So that is something that you need to keep in mind. And in my case, I had to like fine tune my instructions several times after looking at the response and things like that. So it took a lot of time. So this is where you will be spending a lot of time. The configuration and things like that seems to be little easier, but what I feel is like the instructions and the questions that you are going to phrase to the AI agent, that is something which is very critical. So that is something that you need to spend time on. Yeah, so it's a long video, but I've made sure like it is containing each and everything that is required for someone to get started with the AI agent. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Jai Hind.